Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm John. Today's a bit of an opinion piece, bit of a reflection, because right now the mess we're in didn't just happen. We've been dragged into this politically, legally and morally, and somewhere along the way we lost sight of what made us free in the first place. And I pondered this video for some time, and I recently came across an essay by William Keats. And he made some similar points that I'm going to talk about today, but the biggest problem is collectivism versus individualism. And while I agree mostly with his sentiment, he also called John Locke's Bill of Rights traitorous, which I wholly disagree with on his theory. The Bill of Rights itself wasn't the problem, it just wasn't clear enough, and the founding fathers in the US knew this and ensured their version was better codified than ours. Our problem was thousands of years of history prior. And ultimately, that lack of clarity gave later parliaments the room to twist it, manipulate it and ignore it, even interfere with it, all of course unlawfully. So this video refers very much to that. And to understand that where we are now, we need to understand that which we have lost. So looking at collectivism and individualism, and we hear these words thrown around all the time: left, right, liberal, conservative, far right, etc, etc. But here's the truth: the left and right don't actually mean anything. They actually come from the French Revolution. One side sat to the right of the king, the other to the left, and that's it. They could have been sitting north and south, back and front, it wouldn't really matter. What matters is the idea behind them. To the left is collectivism, the belief that society should act as one body, one will, one ideology. An offensive idea that has led to the most destructive, murderous regimes the world has ever seen. And then to the right, individualism, the belief that you're responsible for yourself, and as long as you cause no harm, you should be left alone. And most people sit somewhere in the middle. Good people who just want a fair and quiet life. But here's the spicy bit. At the extreme end of collectivism, you'll find systems like communism, fascism, and yes, even religious authoritarianism like Islamism. Different flags, same mindset, control, control, control. All for the greater good. Absolute zombies. And guys, let me just ask, if you're enjoying this, find this interesting or useful, please do take time to hit the subscribe and like button. It really does help small channels out, and only takes a moment of your time and is absolutely free. Thank you. Meanwhile, at the extreme end of individualism, you don't find chaos, you find people who just want to be left alone, to live honestly and mind their own business. Hermits, for want of a better description. Now technically, these are the real anarchists, not the chaotic, nasty groups referred to nowadays in the press. These are peaceful people. But here's the kicker: neither extreme really captures what we once had, or what we've lost indeed. Or indeed what we've lost. To find that, we've got to go back to 1215, when the Magna Carta forced a king to admit that he was not above the law. It wasn't a royal gift, that was the people standing up. And then on to 1688 and the Bill of Rights, which made it clear again: power comes from the governed and not the governors. And underneath all of it lies something older and even stronger: common law. Common law isn't written by Parliament. It's not invented by ministers. It's discovered through moral principle and centuries of custom, not fads or political leanings. Some might call it natural law or God's law. I personally call it moral law. And it rests on one simple rule: do no harm. Don't injure, don't steal, don't deceive. Live honourably, take responsibility, and respect the rights of others. That's the moral backbone of a civil society. And it's the foundation of all our rights, the real ones, not the ones governments pretend to grant to us. And how did it go wrong? So what happened? Well, at some point, governments realised that complexity means control. The more complicated the system, the easier it is to say, oh, you wouldn't understand, we'll take care of it for you. More of that control, you see. Even judges began to interpret common law not as a moral code, but as a political tool in their interpretation of the political mood. Each new ideology just bent it a little bit further. Until now, we've reached a point where rights are treated as permissions, things the state gives us and takes away. That was never the deal. If we strip everything back, politics, political parties, slogans, what's left? Well, family, to be honest with you. And I don't just mean relatives, though they should be the heart of everything. No, I also mean your street, your community, your town, your tribe, your nation. That sense of belonging is what grounds us all. It's what gives responsibility real meaning. Because when you actually know the people around you, morality matters. Our ancestors built the system around that idea. Local governance, parish, borough, county leaders. These are people who lived among the people they served. They knew us, we knew them. And that's how accountability worked. The bigger the system gets, the weaker that bond becomes, and the easier it is for power to drift away from the people. What do we need? Well, we don't need more laws to fix this. We need fewer, and simpler ones at that. Ones that actually make sense. We need to return to responsibility, to moral law. To the idea that freedoms only work when we act with conscience. If we all lived by that simple rule, do no harm, we wouldn't need half the legislation we've currently got. We just need good people doing the right thing. Because that's what common law is. It's not obedience to rulers, but respect for others. Not control, but accountability. So maybe the real question isn't how do we move forward, but how do we find our way back? Back to a moral foundation. Back to local accountability. Back to the idea that power comes from the people, not over them. The Magna Carta, the Bill of Rights, the common law. They aren't relics. These are our Constitution. Upheld and respected correctly, they protect us from overreaching governance. They are a reminder that justice belongs to everyone, not just those in charge. We don't need a great repeal. We need a great reset, a great voiding of hundreds of years of legalese control. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Tell me what you think in the comments. Where do you think we went wrong? And what do you think it would take to fix it? See you in the next one. Thanks for watching.